Today we're going to walk through building a Google form for a survey or questionnaire together. We're going to use the same style questions, the same questions, just to give you practice on how they each work and how to build that. And then you'll have an opportunity to create your own. The first thing we need to do is within Google Drive, click on New. On that menu, we're going to hover on More, slide over to the submenu, and choose Google Forms. This will open up a blank template where we can go ahead and get started. In the top left-hand corner where it says Untitled Form, we're all going to click and we're going to type in Practice Survey. Once you have completed that, you can click outside of the box and you'll notice that it will go ahead and sync our title on the actual form as well. The next thing I want to point out is down here is the form description. So this would be something you might use to explain why you're doing your survey, or if there are some informational things that your participants need to know about the survey, you can put that in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and type in, help me create the menu for my party, and put an exclamation. And in a moment I'm going to be pausing the video so you can go ahead and type something in there as well. But for right now, if you can just follow along and watch, and then I'll give you time to work in a moment. So the next thing after I have that done, or you will do that, we're going to go up to the color palette, and you'll notice I have solid color options. So if I don't like the default color, I can choose maybe this blue. Notice whatever color I choose is actually just up here on the header. The default color down here is just synced with whatever option is chosen. The other option in the color palette is in the bottom right hand corner. You will notice where you have the image icon. So when I click on this, it actually takes me into the theme library. Our questions today are food related and kind of coincide to maybe planning a birthday party. So I'm going to ask that you go into the birthday theme just for this practice survey and to help speed everything up, and choose one of the options that are here. Once you've done that, you just click on it, click select, and then it will fill in on your form. So you can see my birthday cakes are up here at the top. You can't quite see all of it, but you get the main idea. And then the color that's down here is selected with the theme. You can't change that. So whatever theme you choose is what you'll end up with a color option down below. So go ahead and pause and go ahead and take the time to add in a description if you'd like to. It is optional today, but if you want to go ahead and add something, feel free. But the big thing is to go ahead and select that theme or color for your form. And once everybody's ready, we'll come back and get started with question 1. So our first question is sitting here ready and waiting for us. All I have to do is click and it gets me into the edit mode so that I can work on it. And you'll notice over here on the right hand side it says multiple choice. By default, each question that pops in is multiple choice. But if I click the caret, the menu is going to open up, and some options are to have a short answer question, a paragraph. So if you need some lengthier text option for the person taking your survey, you will want to choose paragraph. Multiple choice, as I said, was the default. Check boxes is similar to multiple choice, but it allows the person taking the survey to check more than one answer. So that is actually going to be our first question style. We'll come back to that. Drop down menu is where you will fill in options, and then the question actually creates a box that when they click in it, it opens up the menu, and then they select the one from that drop down menu. File upload gives your person a chance to upload a document or something that they need to fulfill answering that question. Maybe not something you will be doing for this project, but down the road you might find a use for that. And then below that is the linear scale. That is a question style for ranking. We will be using this one today. It's going to be our last question, and it's a little bit different as far as how to build that, so we'll walk through that together. And then the last one is the multiple choice grid. Probably not something you'll use. In fact, it's kind of a challenging question style to figure out what type of a question actually fits that option, but it is available. So we're going to go ahead and change to check boxes if you want to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go and walk through the question and the option choices, and then we'll have the video pause and give you time to actually do this. So if you want to just follow along with me for now so that you get all the directions before you actually have your work time. Our first question is going to be, what are your favorite pizza toppings? All right. And then you'll notice I have option 1. So when I click here, I can just go ahead and type in my first one. So I'm going to type in pepperoni. And then by pressing enter, it gives me my second option. And then I can just keep going down the list. And then I'm going to add onion and mushroom. We're just going to add those 4 options, but the one thing I am going to add for this question is add other, because it allows your person taking the survey the option to choose something that maybe you don't have included on your list. So when they click this box, other, it's going to give them a text field where they can do a short answer style for the question. The other thing I want to point out before I set you loose to build this question on your work time is down in the bottom right hand corner we have the 3 dots. And this is where you can add in a description. And this is a good question to add a description because of the fact that it's they can select more than one answer. So I'm just going to type in here, check all that apply. And you can do the same, or if you want to change that wording, that's fine. The last thing I want to point out is in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see where it says required. If this is the main meal for our party, I would say this should be a required question of everyone taking the survey so that we have accurate information to build that menu. So go ahead and type in your question, enter your options, go ahead and add the description, and then make it required. And once everyone's ready, we'll come back and get started with question 2. So to get to our second question, on the right hand side you'll notice you have that thin little box that has some options in it. The first is add a question. The second one is add title and description. Then we have add image, add video, and add a section. The add a section is for maybe if you have a quiz or a survey where you have them choose answer A or answer B, and if answer A they're done, then it takes them to thank you for your response, and then if they choose B, it takes them further into the survey to answer some more questions. This is a little bit higher level and most likely not something we're going to be using with this first project, but maybe down the road that is an option for you. So we're going to go ahead and click the add question. You can go do that right away. This question will be multiple choice, so we don't have to change the style. And our question for number 2 is, what is your favorite ice cream flavor? And then we're going to click on option 1 just like we did up above, and we'll type in vanilla. And then I'm going to type in chocolate. Enter one more time, strawberry. And then we will add other, and then that will give your participants the option to choose maybe a flavor that we don't have on that list. So it gives it a little bit more flexibility with the multiple choice style question. And here again, I don't think we need to add a description. It's pretty straightforward, but if this is truly how you're going to select your ice cream flavor for your party, I would make this a required question. You don't have to for this practice one, but I'm just trying to have you think ahead. If it's something you really need them to answer, then you need to make sure it's required, because if the questions are not required, your participant can actually submit the survey without answering that question. So we'll give you a few moments to create question 2, and then when everyone's ready, we'll come back and do our third and final question. All right, you may remember that I mentioned earlier our third question is going to use that linear scale style question. So before we even go into that question, we're going to this time add a title and description. This kind of helps because it truly isn't in the question sense as the first and second question. It's a little bit different style, and as we build it, I think you'll notice that. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my title here, and we'll highlight that all to get rid of it. And I'm going to type in rank your beverage choice. Okay. And if you wanted to add a description, you'll notice that that is available. I am not going to do that, but it is an option. Then I'm going to add a question, just like we did for the second one. And at this point, we're going to change this to linear scale. Again, you can just watch me do this, and then we'll pause the video and give you an opportunity to build it. So label 1, I'm going to just type in first choice every time, and then 5, only if stranded on desert island. So kind of to distinguish the difference, 1 is the best choice, 5 is your worst selection. So at this point, this is a little bit different because we're not actually going to type a question. What I'm going to do here is give them some options as far as beverage choices. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Pepsi. And if you want them to actually rank each choice, then you would want to make them required. But to be honest, you could just have them rank maybe their favorite and not make any of them required. It's however you want to set up your questions. I'm going to go ahead and make them all required, and you can do the same if you'd like. You may have noticed this little icon to the left of the trash can, and that is duplicate. So this linear scale question is an excellent example of using the duplicate. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And at this point, you will notice that it's the exact same question style, everything's set up. Now all I have to do is type in a new option choice. And then I can duplicate again, and maybe we'll put in Capri Sun, and then duplicate one more time, and our last choice we'll put in as water. So at this point, I'm going to pause or have you pause and go ahead and build this last question style of the ranking. I'll scroll back up here to the top so that you can see, remember we add the title first, and then add a question and choose your linear scale, and then don't forget to use the duplicate feature so that you don't have to recreate the linear scale for each answer choice. Alright, so question 3 is done, the ranking of your beverage choice, and you can see how using that duplicate feature is a nice way to give you an easy and quick way to add more options for that type of question so that you aren't having to type those scale endings each time and everything else. And you'll notice with this last one, every time I duplicated, it also made that response required because the first one that I created I had made required, so I didn't have to worry about that. The next thing we're going to do is look up here at the very top where the preview button is. I want to give you the option to take a second and click that, and you can actually see what your live survey will look like. So you can go through and see what it looks like when it's not in the edit form where you're building it. And it probably looks very familiar for you because you've taken these surveys in other classrooms yourself, so now you're actually getting the chance to build one on your own. At this point, I'm going to have you stop the recording. We're at the end, and you will have work time to create your survey, and we will come back together when everybody's ready and watch another video where I'm going to talk about the settings and then how to share this out. So good luck, and we'll get back together when everybody's done and ready to go.